Sean, are you ready? Ms. Catalina? Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to County Council's regular meeting for Wednesday, June 4th, 2025. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Right. Like to announce before we get started, like to announce an executive session that occurred yesterday afternoon. We covered personnel matters and real estate. All right, with that, I will move on to our county council announcements, and I will look to Councilmember Schaefer.
Thank you, Dr. Taylor. I have a couple of announcements tonight. The first one is about an item that we will be approving tonight, and that is a contract, a $129,000 contract with GeoSyntech Consultants for hydrologic engineering technical assistance for the Darby-Cobbs watershed, which is specifically in relation to the proposed Eastwick levee project under consideration by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. As many of you know, this project has been underway for several years, and the City of Philadelphia has been working with the Army Corps of Engineers to address very severe flooding in the Eastwick neighborhood of Philadelphia, which is right across the river from the Delaware County side. In 2023, Delaware County became aware that the Army Corps had developed a conceptual levee design to help mitigate the flooding that was happening in Eastwick. However, County Council and our planning department raised very serious concerns about the potential for that levee to cause induced flooding, which is the fancy word for the possibility that the water that they are holding back from Eastwick would be redirected by the levee and pushed into Delaware County communities, increasing the flood risk of our homes and our infrastructure. So in response, we proactively engaged with the City of Philadelphia and the Army Corps, and we've been working together now for a couple of years to address these concerns through collaborative mitigation strategies. So to support our municipalities that are going to be involved down there and the residents, Delaware County has secured grant funding from the William Penn Foundation to bring technical expertise to this effort. And what's on the agenda tonight reflects this next step. The contract is going to allow us to engage Geosyntec, who is a highly qualified consulting firm with expertise in hydrologic and hydraulic modeling. And they will attend levee-related meetings, review the Army Corps' models, and provide technical reports to our municipalities. This is going to ensure that our local governments and our engineers have a clear, independent understanding of the levee's potential impacts and any mitigation strategies that are under consideration. And just as importantly, Geosyntec will help ask the right questions, translate complex technical data for all of us, and empower our municipalities to advocate in their best interests as this process continues. And all of this work is fully funded by the William Penn Foundation, to whom we are very, very grateful. And it reflects our strong commitment to supporting the residents and municipalities of the Darby-Cobbs watershed. The next thing I want to share is that yesterday there was a groundbreaking on a very exciting project down in Chester. It was for the Highland Avenue Trail Connector, which is a section of trail that will connect 291 to the Riverfront Trail down in Chester. It is also part of the larger 291 corridor East Coast Greenway project. Pretty much everyone was there that is involved, including our Congresswoman Mary Gay Scanlon and our planning department, Chester's Economic Development Authority, the Circuit Trails Coalition, East Coast Greenway representatives, and all of the funders that participated. So it was a great day. This is really exciting that this project is getting started. And we're all committed to seeing the vision of the East Coast Greenway coming through Delaware County. Finally, I wanted to do one last plug. I've been doing this for the last few meetings for the Sustainability Conference that is going to be June 9th to June 14th. It's online, almost all of it, except for the last day, Saturday, which is going to be in person. And you're going to hear more about it from our sustainability director today, I'm sure. But I want to really encourage people to come to at least one session. These are really great, fantastic educational sessions. And one particular session that I would like to plug is on Wednesday. It is our own Green Space Task Force, which is a group of residents who have been volunteering for 4 years in overseeing our open space and trails and giving recommendations and advice to this council and to our planning department. They've been really integral in setting up the Greenways Grants program and getting that going. And they're going to be on Wednesday, the 11th at 4:30. So if you go ahead and sign up, make sure you sign up for that session, and you'll learn a lot about what's happening in our own county and what this incredible group of volunteers has been doing to advocate for open space and trails and investment in parks in our county. And that is to register, you get on delco.gov /sustainability/conference. And that is all.
Thank you, Councilmember Schaefer. Councilmember Ruther?
Yes, I think my announcements will be shorter. First, because it's near and dear to my heart, I wanted to advise everyone that the 2025 primary election was certified today by the Board of Elections. It was a really smooth election. There were, except for some of the sort of typical problems with a scanner stopped working or something happened with a battery for something, all of which were very quickly addressed by the county employees who serve as our election department rovers. It was a very smooth election, and there were no difficulties with the certifications. So let's hope the same is true in the fall, and let's hope for a better turnout as well. So I will. That ends the election part of this program. And the second thing I want to do is let people know that registration for the inaugural Delco 10-miler is now open. This brand new 10-mile race will take place on Sunday, September 28th, and it's going to be something really special. It's a run from Rose Tree Park to just about to Subaru Park, it's really Union Yards. the home of the Philadelphia Union in what's being called a race from the park to the pitch. It won't get quite, the race itself won't get to the park because it would have to cross a CSX rail line. And as many county employees who have to deal with various railroads will tell you, you don't want to mess with CSX. So we are not going to try to cross the tracks with the race, but there will be a party. The route takes runners through 4 municipalities and many of the neighborhoods that make Delaware County such a vibrant place to live. The race began as an idea that members of council started talking about over a year ago to create some kind of signature event. I call it the suburbs answer to the Broad Street Run. But we wanted to do something that would promote health, community pride, and a regional identity. Visit Delco has enthusiastically embraced the concept and helped bring it to life. And their leadership and collaboration have been outstanding, and we're grateful for the energy and creativity they've brought to the project and for the terrific steering committee that they're putting together. This is being supported by the Collaboration Fund, which is money that the county and Visit Delco use to collaborate on events that we think highlight Delaware County as a great place, but also, you know, highlight Delaware County to a larger community and hopefully get people to want to come here. The official race website, delco10miler.com, just launched. An early buzz has already been strong, and our goal is to eventually have thousands of runners do this. We think this year we hope to make it over 1,000 for a first-year event. That would be really big. And as of last night, I think we had 139. Early yesterday evening, we had 139 already, and the race site itself only went live yesterday. So if you're already on board and planning to run, now's the time to sign up. Early bird pricing is available through Monday, July 7th. If you're not sure or haven't run 10 miles, you've got 4 months to get ready. And if running isn't your thing, consider signing up to be a volunteer. It's a great way to show your Delco pride and support the community, whether it's helping at a water station, cheering at the finish line, or assisting with check-ins. We're also looking for people who want to entertain the runners and make them realize Delco is a fun place to be. The 10-miler is designed to be a destination race, the fall counterpart to the Broad Street. With scenic, slightly downhill course that leads to the river, it's ideal for both first-time racers and experienced runners. It's fast and flat, except for the downhill part, and perfect for those training for a fall marathon or for anyone looking to enjoy a well-supported run through some of Delco's most iconic communities, and mainly on 252 Providence Road. Just think, how often do you get to shut down a state road and run on it? And as I've said before, events like this that showcase the power of local partnerships are really what we're trying to do. It's truly a run for Delco, through Delco, and with Delco. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Ruther. Councilmember Hutton?
Thank you, Dr. Taylor. Good evening. I have one announcement, and it's also a fun one. 1 week from tonight, Wednesday, June 11th, Delaware County will kick off the 50th season of our Rose Tree Summer Festival. This longstanding Delco summer tradition began in 1975, the same year Rose Tree Park opened, and it has become one of our county's most popular summer highlights. We're very proud to celebrate 5 decades of free live entertainment for residents of all ages. Ann Stauffer, our interim director of the Parks and Recreation Department, is here with us tonight to present an overview of her department, including the work her team has done to prepare for this milestone season. So, Ann, I apologize if I'm stealing your thunder a bit, but I do want to take a moment to recognize what a tremendous effort goes into making the festival happen each year, and to thank Ann and her entire Parks team for all they do. The 9-week Rose Tree Summer Festival concert series runs Wednesday through Sunday evenings at 7:30 p.m. from June 11th through August 10th, with 2 special morning shows for kids on June 20th and July 3rd. The entertainment lineup features something for everyone: rock, pop, R&B, jazz, soul, reggae, Broadway, Celtic rock, Brazilian bossa nova, barbershop, blues, big band, Americana, patriotic music, and somehow even more than that. This season is especially exciting because the amphitheater has undergone its first major refresh in 25 years, including a new roof, weather-resistant stage flooring, and updated ADA accessible restrooms. Council also extends our thanks to our park police, who provide security and oversee parking each night, helping ensure a safe and welcoming experience for all. Admission and parking are free. Guests are encouraged to bring blankets or chairs, and light concessions will be available. You can view the full concert schedule at delcopa.gov/parks, or pick up a printed schedule at the park, here at the Government Center, or at your local library. If you've never been to a summer concert at Rose Tree Park, I encourage you to come out and see what you've been missing. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Madden. And Vice Chair Womack?
Thank you, Dr. Taylor. I have two announcements this evening. One, I would like to take a moment to bring light to some important work that our health department is doing to bring services directly to our senior residents and help respond to Prospect's closure of the Crozier Health System. As we have said often, just because Prospect turned their back on Delaware County's government would never will turn their backs on our residents. An important example of that is the work of our health department is doing to directly serve our seniors. Many of our residents are worried about how to access their health records in light of the closure of the Chester system. Our health department is hard at work with 9 upcoming events at Delco Senior Centers, where staff will be on site with computers and everything a resident needs to get their medical records and sign up for services and connect further to resources that are available to them. The first event would be on June the 12th at the Chester Senior Center, with events continuing through mid-July. This is a perfect example of local government hearing from residents and what they need and bringing resources directly to where they can do the most good. I am incredibly proud of our DCHD staff for putting this together and look forward to joining them and meeting more of our incredible seniors and helping in every way that we can. For more information, it can be found online at Delco Wellness at co.delaware.pa.us. Hey. My second announcement this evening, I would like to talk about the residents in our county. Once again, I hear them and how much they appreciate our work and getting out of the office into the community to bring resources and services to our residents directly where they are and what they need. Our Health and Job Fair on June 27th is another example of this action. I will be hosting an event on Friday, June 27th, from 11 a.m. until 3 p.m., held at the Academy Park High School in Sharon Hill. The Health and Job Fair will connect residents with hundreds of jobs on-the-spot interviews and access and connect companies right here in Delaware County. We will also be providing health screenings, CPR demonstrations, dental checkups, and how to build a resume, and with job leads right here in our county. We have partnered with the Borough of Sharon Hill, CareerLink, Keystone First, ACG Health, Delaware County Health Department, and Kids Smiles. I am so thankful to our partners and to all the county staff working to make this happen. If you know of anyone who can benefit from a free health screening or who may be looking for opportunities to find new employment in the healthcare field, I want you to do 2 things. 1, take one of the flyers from the back of the room and tell the other person who might benefit from attending. This is about more than an event. This is about bringing our services to you so we can work together and build a better future. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you all on June 27th at Academy Park High School in Sharon Hill. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair Womack. All right, and I have 2 announcements to make. First, I have a few announcements for our veterans and active duty military. This Saturday, June 7th, Delaware County's Office of Military and Veterans Affairs will host its 2nd annual Veterans Resource Fair from 12 to 3 p.m. at the First African Baptist Church in Sharon Hill. This event is a great opportunity for veterans, active duty service members, and their families to access a wide range of free services and supports, all in one place. More than 24 local, state, and federal organizations will be on hand to provide information, assistance, and direct connections to care, benefits, and resources. There will also be a complimentary lunch provided by Wilson Secret Sauce, a raffle, and free haircut vouchers for veterans, along with plenty of free parking. We're proud to continue building this network of care for those who served our country. For more details, please visit delcopa.gov/DMVA-fair. Next, on behalf of the Office of Military and Veterans Affairs, Council invites the public to join us for a special ceremony tomorrow, June 6th, as Delaware County honors the 250th anniversary of the United States Army. Founded on June 14th, 1775, the county will host a flag-raising ceremony at 11 a.m. in front of the Delaware County Courthouse at 201 West Front Street in Media. And we especially encourage any Army veterans and active duty service members to attend and participate with us. The ceremony will be held by Colonel Arthur L. Jenkins, Jr., Director of our Office of Military and Veterans Affairs, and will also include a moment of recognition for the 81st anniversary of the D-Day invasion. Please join us tomorrow. My next announcement, first, this Saturday, June 7th, Delaware County Council and our county team, in partnership with UDTJ and local LGBTQ+ organizations, will host our annual Pride flag raising ceremony. Council invites all residents, families, friends, and allies to join us in media for this powerful and joyful celebration of Pride Month in Delaware County. Pride Month is a time to honor the history, resilience, and ongoing fight for equality of the LGBTQ+ community, while celebrating the love, courage, and authenticity that makes our community stronger. The county hosted ceremony will take place at 1 p.m. in front of Delaware County Courthouse, located here in Media at 201 West Front Street. The raising of the Progress Pride flag is a meaningful moment to recognize the contributions and visibility of our LGBTQ+ residents, and to reaffirm our county's commitment to inclusion, equity, and respect for all. The flag raising will follow the Media Pride Parade, which is organized by UDTJ. The parade kicks off at 12 p.m. and will travel down State Street through Media Borough, ending at the courthouse. After the ceremony, all are welcome to enjoy Pride on State, a free, family-friendly street festival featuring live performances, DJs, food trucks, vendors, community resources, and fun for all ages. Pride on State provides a vibrant and affirming space for LGBTQ+ youth and adults to connect, celebrate, and thrive right here in Delaware County. I'd like to add that we are especially grateful to Kyle McIntyre, UDTJ co-founder and advisory board member, and one of the leading voices behind LGBTQ+ initiatives in Delaware County. Kyle and many members of the community are here with us tonight to support our County Resolution 2025-09, and will be in attendance Saturday as we celebrate the special day together. Please come out and join us as we raise the flag, lift up every member of our community, and we proudly celebrate Pride in Delaware County. All right, and with that, I will move on to the next part of our meeting. We have our presentation. So first today, we have a couple presentations, updates from our departments. Today, our first presentation, we have our interim director, Ann Stauffer, here to do a presentation about Parks and Recreation. Director.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Vice Chair. Good evening, Council. I'm pleased to be here to present some highlights of the Delaware County Parks and Recreation Department over the last year. In this first slide, you see this is us. I just wanted to share everything we do is a team effort. Everybody pulls in together from the concerts to the Festival of Lights, everything we do, every part of our department works together. You can see Brooke Kemchinsky's our programming coordinator. Beth Chapman is our marketing and communications manager. And then we have our grounds team posing for a selfie with the Visit Delco selfie from the Festival of Lights while they were putting out decorations for the Festival of Lights last year, led by Superintendent Donnie DeMutis and Foreman Justin Aldifer and Ed Smelstois. Just want to share that. Just a reminder of our facilities and our parks. We have 14 parks, about 870 acres of parkland that we maintain. This includes 7 buildings, 4 office buildings, 2 community centers, and an environmental center, 5 restroom buildings, 3 maintenance garages, 3 picnic pavilions, 1 amphitheater, 1 members only dog park, a 9-hole golf course, 25 athletic fields, including soccer and baseball and courts, 1 community garden, soon to be 2, 4 paved trails, 2 of which are circuit trails, and 5 playgrounds. It's a really robust system we have here. So these are just some numbers from 2024. We'll just get into the numbers and then we can talk about the fun things. We issued more permits in 2024 than we did in 2023. I think this is in part due to the increasing popularity of Smedley Park, and our little flower park that you invested in and opened has been a very popular picnic permit place. There's always people walking the track and hanging out there. We have 34 now leagues permitted in our ball fields. Golf course revenue hit an all-time high in 2024 record of $335,969, which is huge. I will say we're not on target for that this year because the golf course was covered in snow for the month of January. Golf revenue is weather dependent, and last year we had a very mild winter followed by 50 some days of no rain in the fall. So it was great for the golf course, but this year so far there have been fewer playable days. Dog park members have gone up slightly. We've gone through our garden plot list, brought that down, but we still always are full with 118 garden plots at Rose Tree. Concerts, 34,000 estimated attendance, 378 classes held at the Redwood, which was up from the year before, so we had been shut down for the summer. We have approximately 500 seniors attend our classes at the Redwood each month. It's for our socials and their classes. Cardio drumming is particularly popular, line dancing. And then Senior Games event, we added a new event this year. Senior Games will be starting June 9th, this Monday, and it will go for 2 weeks with 18 events. We added free throw event in Lansdowne basketball, so looking forward to seeing people there, everyone there. I actually will probably do my own free throw afterwards to see how I compare. And then the Festival of Lights, we received some Placer AI data from the Visitors Bureau to show, Visit Delco, who was a tremendous partner last year in the Festival of Lights, that the overall attendance for all of the nights was about 97,600 last year. And on the nights that we had the Delco Fair and Flare, the vendor village, it was about 24,900. That was 5 of those nights. And special events with Juneteenth, Earth Day, and the Delco Arts Week, we had 4 in 2024, and so far we've had 3, and we're likely to have 4 or more by the end of the year. Capital projects improvements, as Councilman Madden already mentioned, the amphitheater looks great. The bathrooms behind the amphitheater are also in great condition now and ADA accessible. It's one of those capital projects. And also, as the councilman mentioned, it is our 50th anniversary of Rose Tree Park, which is huge. We're excited to celebrate with everybody with all of these events. It's the 50th anniversary for the Festival of Lights, the 50th anniversary for the Summer Festival, the concerts. You can see the old tavern there. It's funny to look at these pictures because, the tavern was moved, right? They lifted it up and moved it when they fixed the roads. And the Festival of Lights has expanded greatly in the last 4 years. The stage looks completely different from when it was first built. And we have this new playground. So it's 50 years old, but it's improving all the time. We talked about the Summer Festival, the Festival of Lights, Juneteenth celebration, which is on June 19th in 2 weeks. Vendors start at 4, ceremony at 5:30, concert at 7:30. Philly Gumbo is out again for that. We had a wonderful Earth Day event this year where we upcycled, reused steel drums that have been used to deliver juice. They are now our trash cans with these beautiful color murals of wildlife. We worked with Media Arts Council and Pencrest High School honors students. And So there's the amphitheater in its various forms in the past. And this is our teaser slide. If you want to see how it looks now, please come out to a concert. You can come out to opening night on June 11th for the Delaware County Symphony. And this is a 2024 Festival of Lights. You can see somebody proposed at the Festival of Lights last year. It's a very beautiful moment. We added entertainment last year. You can see the Strathaven Silvertones in the upper corner. TD Bank was a sponsor. You can see the Springton Lake children with the TD Santa hats on there. And the selfie station added by Visit Delco was a huge hit last year as well. And these were our sponsors and partners for the Festival of Lights last year. Visit Delco, huge partner. TD Bank was our platinum sponsor, gold sponsors of the Sheet Metal Workers Union and PICO. And also partners with Master Watershed Gardeners. I have to thank the Delaware County Chamber of Commerce as well, Trish McFarland, and the Commerce Center, Laura Goodrich Cairns. And the last thing I want to highlight before I go is programming for seniors. We talked about the Redwood Senior Center and the Senior Games. In addition to being the 50th birthday of the park, it is the 35th birthday of the Senior Games. So this is our 35th year, 35 years and counting. And we have so far over 500 seniors have signed up to compete. We're looking forward to seeing everyone out there. And this I consider to be probably the most important slide. This is all of the partners who make everything we do possible. The Penn State Extension, Master Gardeners, and Master Watershed Stewards with Marble Tree Commission. They do so much work in our parks. So do the Friends of Chester Creek Trail, Friends of Smedley Park. Friends of Glen Providence Park is no longer in that form, but they still work on the park in their own independent ways. Visit Delco and the Chamber of Commerce. PRC, the Stormwater Collaborative, all of these Delco libraries, and Williamson Trade School actually helped us in their days of service move the Story Walk from its old location to being right next to the playground so children can see it more easily. And with that, you might see the Philadelphia Zoo is up in the corner, and that's the one zookeeper cut down some invasive honeysuckle from Smedley Park and fed it to the new baby Galapagos turtles at the zoo, and I wanted to share that.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from council?
I was going to say any presentation that involves baby Galapagos turtles eating invasive plants is really a highlight for me. But it's really exciting to see the parks at work and understand the kind of growth that they go through. And this wasn't even touching on the trails. This is really just looking at some of our core park properties, and they're hugely important to our community. And I think it's great that we've been able to run the programs there that we have, and you and your staff and all the other departments I know that you work with, the park police, the planning department, sustainability, it's my hat's off to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was a really great presentation. I want to add one additional shout out, and that is to our Parks Board. We have a board of volunteers who meet every single month. They do really incredible work. One of the things they did 2 years ago, I think, is they did a really expansive review of all of the parks departments all over this region. And they found that our staffing is a lot less. We have many fewer people by exponentially, yet our parks are like second to none. So I want to commend the Parks Department for having so much fewer resources to work with, yet being so efficient and so incredible, and producing such an incredible product for all of us with very limited resources. So please pass that along, especially to the grounds crew who take care of 800 plus acres with a very small crew.
Thank you. I will.
Thank you. Thank you for the entire team and all the work that you do. I know you're very busy right now. This is your very, very busy time. So thank you, and looking forward to seeing you next week. I guess a big week, kickoff of the Senior Games and kickoff of the concert series. So looking forward to being out there.
Excellent.
All right, next up, we have a presentation by our Office of Sustainability, an update from our Director, Rebecca Yurkovich.
Good evening, members of council and members of the Delco community. I appreciate your time and attention this evening. So I'm very excited to provide a 2025 update on the Delco Office of Sustainability. And always the first question, so we're all on the same level playing field. What is sustainability? So when we're talking about this, it's really that idea of creating and maintaining conditions in which both our community and our natural environment can thrive, both currently as well as in future generations. So now that we're all on the same page, our office was created in 2021 with a mission of making both Delaware County community as well as our government more sustainable and resilient to the effects of climate change. And in doing this, we both evaluate our government operations as well as doing work in our community. We're doing this with a very small team currently. You see our structure on the right. As of right now, it's just myself and the Assistant Director of Sustainability Finance, but we're very excited to be bringing on a new staff member in the coming weeks. Our work is really guided by this document you see here, which is Sustain Delco, the county's first sustainability plan, which was adopted in August of 2023. And we hit on 6 main focus areas throughout our work. And that's what you see on the right, which includes climate resiliency, natural resources, transportation, energy, waste, and health and wellness. And I always like to note as well that we have guiding values or principles that we try to infuse in all of our work. They're a little tiny, but that includes economic sustainability, so really making sure that we're not imposing additional burden on our residents, education, governance, and finally, equity, inclusion, and justice, making sure that all of our communities are seeing benefit from our work. In this space, one really important thing to consider is, well, what can a county really do when it comes to sustainability? So we always try to kind of level set, where do we have control? Where can we help with influence? And then where can we really provide education back? And those are kind of the 3 main areas we're pushing to make positive change. So first, when looking at our county buildings, that's kind of where we have some control. Happy to say we're doing a lot of different programs here in our government center and county buildings. So one of the big things we've done recently is trying to make recycling the more convenient choice by switching all of the black desk side bins to recycling, really to encourage people to put the paper and the cardboard into recycling rather than having to get up for that. We also initiated toner recycling, in which I'm happy to share we're actually getting credit back for any toners we're recycling, both from vendors in IT as well as Staples. We also did a Earth Day supply swap this year where county departments could come drop off any items they didn't want and other departments could come take them. We had 22 offices participate and swapped over 1,500 items. So that really touches on that economic sustainability piece too, of reducing any redundancy. Downstairs, we're doing back of house composting in Capozzoli's Cafe, and I'm very proud to share that after their first year, they composted over 7.1 tons, and that was only from the kitchen specifically, so a fantastic turnout. Some other things we're working on, we do joint purchasing of energy with our neighboring counties of Chester, Montgomery, and Bucks. And happy to share that group together, we have adopted a joint renewable energy strategy, formalizing our commitment to purchasing renewables together. Some of the other projects, we're looking to roll back the lighting schedules, so we're not having lights on in the building if people aren't here. And we're also getting ready to kick off a $400,000 grant-funded LED replacement for all of our lobbies and common areas in this building. Oops. Another area for kind of things that we can control and kick off, we offer campaign sign recycling, and I'm happy to share that in our November election, there were over 8,000 pounds of just signs that we were able to get out of our waste stream. And this has also been supplemented by other community events such as Keep Delco Beautiful's formal launch and a countywide tree canopy study, which will be coming shortly. I also would be remiss if I didn't hit on this kind of economic sustainability piece. It's really important that through this work, sustainability does not become seen as a financial burden. So a lot of our staff time last year was really dedicated toward applying for grant funding to initiate some of these kind of larger scale implementations. So with just our staff of 2, we applied for over $16.6 million in funds. Happy to share we've hit at least 412 so far in the bank, and we still have about 6.3 outstanding that we can be awarded this year. So things that are out of our control but goes into that kind of influence piece. Our office is partnering with a lot of other county departments to really start putting sustainability at the forefront of their work as well. And just a couple of the things to highlight. One of the big things is with our emergency services department, we were able to get climate considerations in their annual hazard mitigation plan review. We've also helped make further community connections, so flood mitigation projects are being cohesive and across groups rather than having everything in silos. Also to share, we've been giving staff education in our health department, recognizing the health implications of our current waste system, as well as many other programs. Some other places that we also, doesn't like that slide. Some other places that we are able to provide influence is with our partner organizations. So in this capacity, our office really offers an additional support, an additional lens to integrate sustainability and Delaware County at the forefront of regional initiatives. So we have several which are energy related. We're also involved in watershed planning efforts and flood mitigation across the county, as well as several clean transportation initiatives. It's also worth noting that in bringing visibility to our office, we're starting to see a lot more municipalities actually reach out with kind of niche issues to really look for guidance. So we've met with Glen Oldenboro about how to mitigate litter in the community, Concord Township about tree plantings, and several others about kind of their specific issues at home. And in that space where we might not have a seat at the table for influence or space to really control the outcome, we're really doing a lot of education and outreach in our community. The map you see in the top right corner, and I apologize, it's kind of tiny, but that's our engagement to date just for 2025. So we've done 18 events or outreach points, whether that's individualized meetings with municipalities, tabling events, presentations, or many more. And in an effort to kind of keep learning and build our connections not only in the region, we were extremely privileged this year to actually sign a sister counties agreement with Pingtung County, Taiwan, to continue this commitment of crossing global boundaries of pushing toward a more sustainable future. And I always like to point out, no county funds were used for this exchange. And then I would be remiss if I didn't share as well kind of our biggest initiative of the year, which is coming up next week, is the annual sustainability conference. Historically, this has been a one-day, full-day event, but in an effort to make it more accessible to our residents this year, we are doing virtual, as Councilwoman Schaefer mentioned, from June 9th through the 13th. And then we'll be switching gears in person with both a guided hike through Ridley Creek State Park on Friday afternoon, and then in-person event at Tinicum Township on Saturday. And I'm happy to share our keynote speaker this year is Glenn the Hurricane Schwartz, the beloved meteorologist of our area. So come on out, meet Glenn, and meet some other cool people along the way. We'll have about 30 community organizations and an EV Expo. And if those don't interest you, there's also 2 museums on the 2nd floor of the Lazaretto, which will be open, including the Swedish Heritage Museum and the Italian Heritage Museum of Delaware County. So we hope everyone can attend, and I know that was quite a long link Councilwoman Schaefer had to share earlier, but we also have a sign in the back that has the QR codes to sign up, or there's a little slip of paper that has the QR code you can take as well. So I just want to thank you guys all for your time and attention and hope to see you all next week at the conference.
Any comments or questions from council?
And I just want to say that I'm really glad that sustainability is working collaboratively both with our municipalities and more importantly, within the county itself, because, you know, it's not just other people who do things in silos, and trying to bring to the attention that maybe of our own employees and some of our processes, that sometimes not by doing more work, but just by doing the work you're doing, making some tweaks to the way you do what you're already doing, you can have a really big impact. And, you know, I know there's a lot of room for growth, but people who are focused on doing their jobs don't always have a chance to think about those changes. And I think the advantage of having a sustainability team, which is small but mighty, is, you know, you can help them look at what they're doing and you can bring that expertise. So I'm glad to hear that that's a big part of your portfolio.
Thank you.
Any additional comments or questions from council? Well, I just want to say thank you. I feel like you all do so much every year, and there's just, every time I look, it's like a new program, something that we're moving forward, another way that we're trying to help and support our municipalities in particular. So thank you for that outreach. Thank you for the work that you're doing. I think you've really just been moving the department in a great direction. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, at this time, we will open it up for public comment. As a reminder, there was a sign-up list in the back of the room. If you didn't get a chance to sign up, we will call on you after we have gone through the list of individuals who have signed up first. You do have a 3-minute limit, which is on the screen in front of you. When you step up to the microphone, please state your name and municipality. With that, I will look to our executive director.
Yes. First up, Charles Alexander and Gary Ryder.
Your video is not working. People wanted me to tell you at home, but hi, council. I like turtles too, but that's where our pleasantries end. Christine, your email to Mr. Dix mistakes someone who cares about their community for a political hack. Someone like me fights for what's right in our community because of the civil liberties being infringed by people meant to help foster them. You and the other schmucks in the Delco political scene, you're not civil servants, you're self-servers. Let's be clear, I'm no politician and never will be. I'm a community leader, and I've been one for the better part of 2 decades. When community leaders stand up and speak out, self-serving hacks are supposed to listen, not double down on clickety-clack nonsense. But that's about to get real fun real soon. Since you never legislated over a year ago, and none of you have resigned as I kindly requested, you're about to have a lot less money for your clickety-clack kickback mechanisms. Once Trump cuts federal funding for Delco's sanctuary city status, you'll be fighting with the Delco GOP for whatever contracts and scraps are left to keep yourselves out of poverty. Speaking of them, let's not forget the GOP made us a sanctuary county back in 2014. Make sure everyone knows that. The GOP is the one that turned us into a sanctuary county. The same group that hung the concerned citizens of this county and Marple Township out to dry last year is the ones who started this. We, the people of Delco, know the secret of Delaware County. There's no 2-party system, just one self-serving uniparty. That's why it was so critical to keep me off the ballot. And it's still a priority for the self-serving crowd. I'm what happens when a community has had enough. I'm the symptom of the disease the uniparty has inflicted on this hardworking community. Remember, there's more like me coming because this disease plaguing our community needs a cure. Ballot access is a God-given right, and anyone who stands against more options for voters is a tyrant and a coward. The U.S. Supreme Court has ruled that state laws that make ballot access unduly difficult, especially for third-party or independent candidates, can infringe upon the right of association protected by the First Amendment. Remember, if the uniparty stops me from running this year because your elections office took advantage of a cancer patient, I know that I'm now in remission, and the corrupt, cowardly machine that is the Delaware County Uniparty will not stop me next year. I will always fight for everyone's God-given civil rights, and I'll continue to do what's best for Delaware County always. I'll speak out for what's right, and I'll make sure everybody knows what's going on behind the scenes. God bless. And remember, you're going to end up in poverty if you don't take care of that situation.
Gary Ryder, then Kathy from Haverford.
How you doing? Gary Ryder, Marple Township. Been coming every meeting for the last year. Nice to see you tonight, Kevin. Nice to see you. Same old thing, illegal immigration. That's pretty much what I talk about that in Don Guanella. I can't believe the health department funds these people. That's where it comes from. We looked it up. Ms. Taylor, I seen you said you care about all the residents. Well, they're not citizens of Delaware County. We shouldn't be paying for them. You know, us taxpayers, it's ridiculous. You know, I'd love to get the amount of money that the health department spent on immigrants. You know, we're paying for their housing, paying for their schooling. They never paid a dime in taxes. I worked my whole life since I was 17. Paying my taxes, doing what's right, you know? And when I retire, there's gonna be nothing left because they just threw it all out the window, gave it to immigrants. It's ridiculous what's going on. And I do care about my community, you know? I'd love to see that park get done. You know, a lot of things you guys do is good. Rose Tree Park, that was great. 50 years, you know, I think you should run it like a business and make money. It's great that golf course made $300,000 or took in that much. You should do that at all these parks, you know? Instead of having Rita's Water Ice come in, why don't you have, you know, hire kids and we can go get water ice and you could sell it, the county can make money. You know, all the, I know Don Guanella would be great for camping. You could have, you know, selling from firewood to campsites to having movies there, a lot of things, you know. Instead of giving everything away, we got to, you know, tighten our ship, you know, and start making money, you know, run it like a business. That's pretty much all I got tonight. I mean, and I hope we don't lose that federal funding. I hope you guys clean up this, you know, this sanctuary county. You've been telling us for a year we're not sanctuary, and you knew all along. You were gaslighting us, and you know it was just all word salad. It's definitely we're sanctuary county, and you know it. Thank you.
Kathy from Haverford, and then Kyle McIntyre. Okay.
I look like
Kyle.
Kathy's here.
Kyle, and then Kayla Kochi.
Okay. Kyle McIntyre, Upper Darby. Declaring Delco a safe haven and a welcoming place for LGBTQ people, particularly our transgender and non-binary neighbors, could not come at a more urgent time. Across the country, LGBTQ people and our trans community are under assault by lawmakers and extremists alike. 914 bills so far this year to strip us of basic rights, deny critical health care, and to force us to live in fear, with complete disregard to Americans' bodily autonomy and a person's right to make decisions about their own health care. Many of these laws and regulations being introduced are not protecting youth. They are sneaking in provisions to full-on assault all care, adults included. They include denials of benefits to threaten to pull funding from providers based on unenforceable executive orders, all in an attempt to starve out and detransition trans people. However, in Delco, we chose a different path. This resolution is an opening act. It affirms that trans people are not just welcome here, they will be protected here. And by shielding gender-affirming healthcare and standing up for providers, we are doing something monumental. Delco is poised to become the first suburban county in the Commonwealth, home to over 570,000 people, to take this kind of bold public stand. This is historic. This is leadership. While you're working to restore the Crozier system, the multitasking from our leaders is truly inspiring. Thank you for holding us all in your hearts and doing everything you can on all fronts. However, this resolution is a beginning, not an end. If we are serious about being a safe haven, then we must take the next step, passing a comprehensive countywide non-discrimination ordinance modeling Lehigh counties that protects not just our LGBTQ people in employment, housing, healthcare, and public accommodations, but everyone. The truth is, being welcoming isn't passive, it's proactive. And tonight, our government has the chance to be on the right side of history. To every LGBTQ person, trans youth, parents, the medical providers, and allies who have fought tirelessly with us, this is your county. And you deserve to know that your local government has your back. We cannot wait to celebrate Delco Pride with our Pride Parade this Saturday on June 7th at 12 p.m. in Media, and our large festival in Upper Darby on June 14th at 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. With this resolution and a future non-discrimination ordinance, we will truly have something to celebrate in these otherwise dark times. Thank you for making Delco a model of what's possible. Thank you.
Kayla Kochi and Brighton Golston.
Kayla Kachi, Fallcroft. Good evening, council members. My name is Kayla Kachi. I serve as the Director of Resource and Services at the UDTJ Community Center, Delaware County's only BIPOC and LGBTQ-led youth center. And I'm one of the lead organizers for our Delco Pride Festival, which is proudly celebrating 5 years of visibility, community, and resilience. 5 years of Pride is something to be proud of, but it also reminds us of how much work remains. On March 30th, we made history right here in Media with the first ever Delco Trans March and flag raising. Over 500 people gathered in solidarity to affirm that trans lives matters and that our community is worth protecting. It was powerful, but today we need more than symbolism, we need action. That urgency is only amplified by what happened on a national level today. The U.S. Navy has officially stripped the name of Harmony Milk, a trailblazing gay rights leader, from one of its ships. This is not just about a name, it's a deliberate eraser of LGBTQ plus history, identity, and presence in public life. And while names are being stripped from ships, real people in our communities are being stripped of rights, safety, and support. As someone working every day to connect people with essential services and support systems, I see firsthand how these attacks are taking a toll, whether it's healthcare, housing, legal protections, or simply the ability to live authentically. People are being threatened, people are being pushed out, and people are being harmed. And yet, our resource partners are continuing to show up. They are choosing to stand firm, even when it's hard, even when it's risky, because they know what at stake is bigger than politics, is people's lives. This resolution gives Delaware County a chance to lead with courage, to say clearly, we will not participate in harm, we will not share private medical information, we will protect trans people, LGBTQ people, and the providers who care for them. And as we prepare to welcome hundreds to the 5th annual Delco Pride Festival later this month, we ask that you back our celebration with something lasting, promise of protection. Thank you for your time and for your leadership.
Brighton Golston and Elliott Callens.
Good evening, council. My name is Brighton Golfin. I live in Yaden, PA. I'm a normal human being just like everyone else. I work. I also love to hike. Shout out to Smedley Park. I'm also a worker, a laborer specifically. I'm also an out and proud member of the LGBT community and identify as non-binary. Being that I'm just a typical resident and typical human being, as everyone has stated, as I've stated, I believe that myself as well as my fellow peers deserve the right to have our healthcare protected.
Without my healthcare, as well as that of my fellow peers in the trans and non-binary community, I do not know if I would survive. And I feel that as tax-paying residents, as members of the community who also actively participates in Delco events, shout out to Juneteenth and also Smedley Park. Sorry, it's my favorite park. I can't help but bring that shout out. It's my favorite hiking place. I believe that we should be given the same rights as everyone else, as well as healthcare. I'm sorry, I'm exhausted. I just came from work because I'm a worker. But I also urge that in line with what my fellow peers have just stated, pass some even more protections. It would be really big if you are the suburban county. As someone that was a graduate of UDHS a few years back, I don't want to give the exact year, I and other youth had escaped to Philly because we felt like we couldn't get the care and the services provided. We felt like we would not be accepted in Delaware County and that we wanted to get access to other peers, other resources and whatnot. We had to leave our homes, which is Delco. Delco's my home. I don't want to leave it. I don't want to go to another county to get access to healthcare, or to work in a different county because I'm more protected there. I want everything here for me and my peers. I want protections and equitable access to healthcare, and I would like that to be protected. For that being said, thank you so much for county for recognizing us as a safe haven.
Elliot Callens and Jesse Callens.
Hello, I'm Elliot Callens, and these are some things I believe in. Everyone deserves healthcare. Treat others the way you want to be treated. And finally, everyone deserves to make choices about their own body.
Jesse Callens and Kim Brown.
Hi, thank you. My name is Jesse Callens, and I am a transgender children's author and a member of your community currently thriving thanks to my access to gender-affirming care. I strongly support this resolution. Through my career, I get access to a lot of children who, through, not just recent events in our country, but historical rooted beliefs in our country have suffered as a result of a lack of acceptance, whether it's from their parents, whether it's from peers at their school, whether it's from the institutions that they attend. But currently, it's the risk of losing healthcare. And I have witnessed the devastating impact of the loss of healthcare and the threat to providers of transgender individuals. Healthcare decisions need to remain between doctors and their patients, and pathways of care should be left to experts and not the opinions of underinformed politicians. In order to preserve the safety and dignity of all members of our community, we must protect ourselves against the efforts to dismantle individual autonomy in healthcare and in life. And we've heard some people spoke about God-given rights and civil liberties, but when we start dividing who it is who does and does not deserve these rights and these liberties, we are no longer functioning as a community. I'm sorry, I'm not great at public speaking, but thank you anyway. We're creating division, we're assigning value to individuals, and I have 4 children. I work at school, and children do not divide based on worth, based on identity. They view one another as individual humans on our planet. It doesn't matter how they got into our county, whether they were legal or not. They look around and they see an individual human life worthy of being grown, cared for, nourished, and provided. So that individual, regardless of where they were born, who they feel they are, or any of their political opinions, they deserve to become an adult. They deserve to come here and deliver their thoughts to future chair members and board members and all sorts of fancy, wonderful people. They can become president, they can be a doctor, and you're entitled to those opinions. And regardless, every child, every adult, and every member of our community deserves to be cared for and supported. And I hope that, as Kyle has said, that support that is being shown today and that was shown on Transgender Day of Visibility will continue to push through in this room as we protect not just our rights, but we really double down on making sure that those are being enforced and held and cared for. Thank you so much for your time.
Kim Brown and Aaron Anthony Russo.
Kim Brown Cowan. George W. Hill is a prison where you come and pick up an addiction. In February 2020, the board adopted a resolution calling for expansion of treatment for inmates with opioid use disorder. December 11, 2024, the George W. Hill Correctional Facility announced the recipient of a $769,000 grant for the MAT program, which is the medication assisted treatment. It's a program with no service, just medication. So now it's expanding even more in the prison. Now everyone is being inducted into the program. As long as you answer a few questions correctly, you're in the MAT program. If you're a drug dealer and know how to get K2 or whatever is sprayed on that paper coming through the jail, you can sign up and make a killing in the program. So everyone in the jail picked up an addiction from the most popular program at George W. Hill. Recently, the House passed a bill to cut Medicaid. So now, if the Medicaid gets cut, how will the inmates get to rehab? County Council, after expanding the drugs, what's the backup plan for the inmates when they can't get access to rehab? Secondly, the jail is coming up on Title 37 inspection. Inspector Luna Kuwalik is coming to George W. Hill on July 15th. I so can't wait to meet her. Title 37, Chapter 95 states a lot of interesting things that don't align with George W. Hill. Thank you.
Aaron Anthony Russo and Joanne Holston.
Good evening, honorable members of Delaware County Council. My name is Aaron Russo, known as the county as Aaron Anthony. I'm a proud worker of the Delaware County Health Department. I am here to speak on behalf of the supermajority of workers in my department, many of whom are with me tonight. I want to begin by saying thank you for building this department, which is relatively new in Delaware County's history. Our community is stronger with your investment in our public health. Tonight, we are here to ask you to invest in us. We are residents, we are taxpayers, we are also experts in our jobs, and every day we work to embody the mission of the Delaware County Health Department because that's what our community deserves. For dignity, for respect, and for the important work that we do, we are forming our union with the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, AFSCME Council 13. Almost every other Delaware County worker has a union and a contract. Our roles are too important to go unrepresented any longer. It's time we have a strong union, a voice at work, and a seat at the table in decisions that are made regarding our lives and the lives of those who we protect. That is why it is my privilege to request that you recognize our AFSCME union by way of a motion. This motion will be to submit a joint request for certification for all non-professional Delaware County Health Department workers to be filed with the Pennsylvania Labor Board's Relation Board. Tonight, you have a choice. You can affirm your support of public health by making such a motion this evening. If that isn't possible, we can give you until 5 p.m. on June 11th, 2025 to inform us that you will join us in filing a joint request for certification, or we will file a petition for representation. Time is of the essence, and we would be happy to answer any questions about this process now or to put you in contact with someone we designate to speak on our behalf regarding the process of filing a joint request. This is not the end, but really the beginning of a new chapter for the health department workers. Everyone here deserves a union and a voice at work, just as every resident deserves a strong health department. Us having a strong voice work also means having a strong voice for our community.
Joanne Holston, and Brian Baraka.
Okay. And before this next speaker, I'd like to respond if I can. First of all, let me say, I'm looking at all the green in the room. It brings back memories because I used to work for ASME when I was in my 20s. So I know what it means to be a union member. I know what it means to be a union organizer because I've been in that same position as well. And I also know what it means to be on the management side. I've been branded. I wear the union label. I get it. And I feel like any worker who wants representation, who wants to join a union, should have the right to do so without any reprisal. Because like I said, I've been there. And I have been an organizer. I have support workers' rights and will continue to support workers' rights. So I don't believe anyone up here would stand in the way of anyone wanting to organize. I mean, we have, like you said, that there were plenty of unions here in county. We have a lot of union workers here in the county. And I think that shows our testament that we do support the unions. And me personally will continue to support the union. And if the majority of workers want a union, it's fine by me. So you keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, I'll just add, I share Councilman Womack's view that anybody who wants to be represented, organize. I would never run any kind of anti-organization campaign. I think though, this is like the first time this has been brought to our attention and you do it at a public meeting, which I really wish somebody had taken the time to call us and maybe have some of these discussions beforehand, because asking us to do it tonight when we've got another agenda and we'd have to amend our agenda and do a lot of other things is hard. And but I would certainly be willing to talk to you about what it is you're looking for and whether there's a need to have a vote or whether there's a majority of council who wants to support a joint application for the union. Either way, you're not going to get any pushback on organizing. I just want to be clear on that. But it would be nice to be able to have a conversation where we really can have it back and forth. And that's not something we can do tonight during public comment. But I'm glad to see people organizing, because honestly, the only way we're going to get any kind of economic change in this country is if we organize at the grassroots level. As a manager sitting here at the county who's already facing a deficit and likely tax increases, that brings a whole separate set of considerations to it. But recognizing that the only way working men and women in this country, working people in this country are going to get a fair shake is if they organize. That I support. But my question for you is, can we find a time that's not now where we can meet? And I would just invite you to have whoever it is who you want to have speak for you, give your contact information to our county clerk and she'll get it to us, and we'll find a time to sit down and have a conversation about what the path forward looks like.
I'd like to say, I just want to thank you all for coming here tonight. This is the first time I've heard that there was a desire to unionize in the health department. I'm happy. We have 12, I think at this point, 12 union contracts. And I think we deal with them all very fairly. We're all very pro right to organize. And it doesn't bother me at all that you came and did this in a public meeting. I think it's wonderful to make it public that this is an important part of our society and the way that we protect our workers. So thank you for coming tonight.
Same. No, thank you for coming tonight. We look forward to following up on this conversation. As we've alluded to, we wouldn't be able to add that motion to the agenda today, but we have supported all of our unions, and we've even had a union form, actually two, since we've been in office within the county government. So we are more than supportive of our employees and our unions throughout the county government. So thank you for coming today. And we will definitely follow up and just make sure Ms. Catalino has whoever is the lead that we need to contact to follow up with conversations.
Now I forget what I was going to say. But anyway, hi, I'm Jody Holston. I want to thank the health department workers, and I want to applaud AFSCME and put a plug in. My son works for AFSCME in DC, so good for you coming here. This is just from my heart. I have been a resident of Delaware County most of my entire life, 60 some years. I've raised two boys. My oldest son is gay. I want to applaud you and congratulate you for the measures that you're taking to protect the LGBTQ plus community. My son is now in New York. He never felt comfortable in Delaware County. He went to the Haverford School. He never felt comfortable coming out there. He went to New York, which thank God it's a place for him to be. He's went to Columbia, and he will be thrilled to see your efforts here. I also want to say that I applaud the fact that you can sit there and be called names. And on behalf of a resident of Delaware County, again, my whole life, I am embarrassed and I apologize for what other people, my neighbors, the way that they speak to you. There should be respect. We can all have different opinions, but the lack of respect blows me away. And I do just want to say that we do have to protect the most vulnerable in our community. They are the LGBTQ plus community. The current administration has decided that for some reason, they're have caused all the evils in the world. And really, they're just people who just want to live. They don't want anything from anybody but to be alive and happy and have their lives and be who they are. That's not too much to ask. And the hate and cruelty of people that are against it is tragic. I would say to any of those people, if they're in this audience, get to know somebody, get to know a trans person, get to know a gay person. Because trust me, you won't feel the way that you're feeling now. So again, thank you very much, and I appreciate all that you do. Thank you.
Brian Frostka, then Nicole Teets. Yeah, something like that.
Thank you for letting me speak. My name is Brian Bortnecker. I'm from Broomall. I'm here with my wife. I came here to say a couple things. One of the things I wanted to say, for 14 years, my wife and I have ran what's called a PFLAG chapter in media. It's called PFLAG of Media. It's Parents and Friends of Gay and Lesbian, and we've been running it now for 14 years. And it's just an honor to be here to hear the respect that you're giving the LGBT community. I'm here to just thank you, especially in light of what's going on in our country now at the federal level. We need strong people that have guts and are willing to speak up for the LGBT community. I've worked with many different transgender and gay people, and their rights are being stamped on, are being tragically stampede on. And I really just want to say thank you. And that's really why I came up here today, to say thank you very much.
I'm Nicole Tietz-Sokolska from Swarthmore, PA. Thank you for having the opportunity to speak with council today. I'm a mom. I'm a wife to an immigrant woman. I'm a Quaker. maybe one of the least interesting things about me is that I'm a trans woman. It's just who I am. It should be unremarkable. And it is unfortunate that it has become such a remarkable thing and something that where we have to fight and claw for our rights, for our ability to have healthcare, where we have to sit and have the conversations of what does our safety look like? We chose to raise our kids in Delaware County, PA, because we think that this is a great place to raise our family. The presentation by the Parks Department reaffirmed so much of that. The support of unions reaffirms so much of that. It's a place I love to be. And the resolution that I hope that you vote to pass tonight reaffirms that this is a county where I can be accepted and where my family can be safe, where we can get access to healthcare and live our lives. I hope that this is the first of many steps to protect those rights because we are discriminated against. Members of our community are discriminated against all the time. Our access to healthcare is threatened and is under constant threat from the federal government. And so I hope that we continue to make steps forward. I hope that this is the first of many steps, as others have said. And I'm very proud and heartened to be a Delaware County resident today, where this is being passed. And I look forward to seeing many of you at the flag raising next week in Pride on State, which I think will be a wonderful event. So thank you for your time.
If anyone else would like to speak who did not sign up, please approach the podium. If you'd like to speak but did not sign up, please approach the podium and you can speak in the order you arrive.
Good evening, Karis Coker, Concord Township. There are numerous things that I would rather be doing this evening than being here at this meeting. I have a list a mile long of things I would really like to do. But here we are. This year is the 100th anniversary of the 1925 Scopes trial, where the creator essentially was put on trial, even though the issue was whether or not outsiders had the right to tell the people of Dayton, Tennessee and Ray County what they could do in their curriculum. 1930 then gave birth to a movement that resulted in a study published by the American Historical Association regarding the social studies in the schools. I just recently came across this document. It's astonishing. Its references to the New World Order in 1934, the international interdependence, the abolition of private rights of property. And this was from the National Association, co-authored with them for the curriculum that they were going to design for public schools. No wonder we're where we are. And you add to this mix in the 1930s the rise of the technocracy movement, which was outlawed in Canada after a short time and had to go underground, but it certainly had a massive resurgence with persons from Peter Thiel to Bill Gates. Bill Gates' father was one of the original technocrats. And the goal of technocracy is essentially to put all of us on a national or even a global plantation where human beings are merely cogs in a social machinery operated and directed by the scientists and the experts. The media, the entertainment world, the education, the political operatives, such influences have so shaped the American mind now that most Americans have no idea what it even means to be an American. It's more than where you're born and where you live. I guarantee you those who sacrificed their lives and suffered to establish this country of ours had understood the difference between liberty and licentiousness. They did not die and suffer to preserve the kind of rights that you're endorsing. Mr. Madden made reference recently to Moses and the Ten Commandments. Well, our Bill of Rights is a civil embodiment of those 10 commandments. And the 7th one is, thou shalt not commit adultery. And that commandment includes all immoral, unnatural, and perverted conduct or behavior. You cannot reconcile your oath of office, your pledge of allegiance, and your duty before God, your creator. It is most regrettable that you are adopting this resolution. Thank you.
Next speaker, please.
Thank you for having me. This is my first time here. I didn't know about the sign-in sheet. My name is Courtney Bethel. I'm coming here as a resident of Delaware County. I've lived here for over 30 years. I've lived in many areas. I started out in Lansdowne because I work at Fitzgerald Mercy Hospital. Then I moved to Wallingford. I raised my family here in Media, and now I live in Newtown Square as an empty nester. I came here to advocate for all residents of Delaware County. I've come here to say to everyone that Delaware County has a healthcare crisis, not just for LGBTQ people, not just for Black people, not just for seniors, not just for maternity. All people are suffering here in the midst of a healthcare crisis at Delaware County. It's a shame that a county of 570 people has 2 hospitals to provide care for those patients. It's a shame that in a county of 570 people, there is a single hospital that's delivering babies. How can we look ourselves in the mirror, no matter who you are? There is a crisis of mental health care right here in Delaware County. I've seen in my 30 years here, I've seen 4 Delaware County hospitals close. Places that rendered maternity services, Delaware County Memorial Hospital, Taylor Hospital. Fitzgerald, getting to the mental health crisis, because I'm running out of time. Fitzgerald Mercy had a psychiatric crisis and inpatient crisis unit. They lost their accreditation. Now Crozier, which had a psychiatric emergency department and inpatient, closed. I am an emergency physician, but I'm not representing any hospital or any private entity. I am representing myself and all of my patients and all of the residents here when I say there is a healthcare crisis going on. I am not coming here to complain. I can tell you horror stories that are experiencing in the emergency department at Fitzgerald Mercy right now. I didn't come here to complain. I came here to implore you, please make a commitment to change. This is a crisis. Let's move in crisis mode and find a way to provide services for pregnant women, mentally ill people, seniors, impoverished. All of us need to have hospital to go to when we need it. Thank you very much for your time.
Hi, good evening. Laura Lewis, Radnor Township. I'm here to speak about the up-and-coming certification of the May primary election results. Under 25 PS 3154F, Pennsylvania election law states, not as a suggestion, but as a mandate, quote, upon the completion of the computation and canvassing of the returns of votes cast, the county board shall publicly announce the unofficial results thereof and shall make and sign a certification thereof, a certificate thereof. A copy of such certificate shall be posted in a conspicuous place in its office for a period of at least 5 days, unquote. This means posting the return board results is not optional, it's not contingent on the results found, and it's not discretionary. It's the law. Yet in 2024 general election, the county certified the election results within an hour of stating that the return board had completed its review. There was no posting, no time was allowed for public review, and no explanation of this accelerated process given. Furthermore, when questions about the 2024 return board results were brought up to the county through legal process, the response was that certification had been completed and the chance to address return board issues was before certification and thus no longer possible. This raises obvious questions. First, when in the 1-hour window, was it possible to file through the legal process as the county requires? Second, why would the law require the results to be posted for 5 days if the certification happens immediately after the return board has completed its audit? If there is, as stated previously, no window permitted for legal actions. Third, why were the results of the return board not posted in 2024? That 5-day window clearly exists to give the public a meaningful opportunity to review the results and, if needed, contest errors or anomalies before the certification becomes final. Through their actions, the county is denying the public the very process that 25 PS 3154 was designed to protect. I respectfully request that the county permit time in excess of a couple hours for examination of the return board results before certification of the May primary election results. This is important to ensure compliance with the law and ensure public trust in the election process. Thank you.
Any additional public comments? Yep. Seeing none, I will look to Mr. Womack for the motion.
Yes, I'd like to make the motion for the approval of the minutes of the regular meeting held on May 21st, 2025.
Motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it.
Item 7A, Resolution 2025-09 to declare Delaware County a safe county for the LGBTQ plus community.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. I want to take a moment to discuss Resolution 2025-9 to declare Delaware County a safe county for the LGBTQ plus community. Delaware County's government has one focus: ensuring this county is the best place to live, work, and raise a family. Not just for some people, not just for the ones who look, think, pray, or love exactly as we do, but for everyone who calls Delaware County home. As the resolution notes, estimates indicate that 20% of the U.S. population identify as LGBTQ+. There's an America that has always been here, overlooked and unappreciated, attacked and targeted for who they are, all while they work jobs, pay taxes, and do the hard work day after day of building a better future, not just for themselves, but for the very people that target and attack them for who they are. All of us are better off when all of us are protected. All of us are better off when none of our neighbors are afraid of being targeted for who they are, especially by their own government. I'm proud of the people that form the fabric of Delaware County, including those of the LGBTQ+ community. The work of building a better future is hard enough without turning on each other and without turning away the accomplishments and dignity of good people willing to live alongside us. They deserve what we all deserve: lives free from harassment and fear, a chance to build common dreams, and the support of a government that exists to serve them alongside 575,000 people who share this county and call it home. And with that, I'll turn it over to Mr. McGarry to introduce and give an overview of Resolution 2025-9.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. This evening before you is resolution to declare Delaware County a safe county for the LGBTQ+ community. Recognizing that Delaware County celebrates its diversity and believes that all individuals add to the quality of our lives and should be treated fairly with respect and dignity and with full human rights. And further recognizing that Delaware County is committed to preventing all forms of discrimination. Tonight, if you vote to approve this, County Council will reconfirm its commitment to protecting human rights for all individuals and believes that access to healthcare, education, and peaceful enjoyment of their lives are fundamental rights to all people in the county. And Delaware County would also reiterate its commitment to transgender rights and equal protections for the transgender community members, and declare itself a safe haven for transgender and gender expansive people to live and seek care. And that Delaware County shall be a supportive county for LGBTQ+ individuals and their families to live in peace and comfort, a safe haven for transgender and non-binary people and their families, and for gender-affirming healthcare.
Thank you, Mr. McGarry. All right, with that, are there any comments or questions before we vote from council members?
Yeah, I'd just like to point out that, we live in a really confusing time where our Supreme Court, with a conservative majority, could conclude that discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation is discrimination on the basis of sex, and therefore illegal under federal law in certain employment situations. And yet now we have a federal government who seems intent on criminalizing and othering people on the basis of something that really, in many respects, ought to be protected. It's a way of dividing us, is by saying that people are different. My father, who passed away 20 years ago, grew up knowing that his cousins were gay and lesbian. And I've grown up with that in my family. I've grown up with that knowledge that my family members are gay and lesbian, and their partners are our family members, just like our spouses are, or that really serious boyfriend that my sister never got around to marrying. And they're part of the fabric of my life, and they're just that. They are neighbors. I've been fortunate enough to live in a neighborhood that has been very accepting of non-traditional families. And I am really grateful for that, because my kids went off to college, and what finally got them interested in politics, you would think all three of them being girls, it might have been the challenges to their own reproductive health. But it was the way they saw their friends being treated, the way they saw their friends who were gay and lesbian and trans being treated. And I got to tell you something, and fluid, gender fluid, it being themselves, where people were being who they truly were, it offended them. It activated them politically and personally. And I was inspired. So I think what we're doing here today is recognizing the humanity of people in our county and recognizing the rights that they should have. There's a lot of work to be done. Some things are easier than others when you're a county and we don't have the same ability that municipalities have or the state, but this is a first step and an important one. So I thank those of you who came out to express your support for it. We will invariably disappoint some people who believe that we should be living centuries ago, or millennia ago. But I like to think of myself as a Christian. I was baptized, went to Sunday school, and I always embraced the New Testament. And the lesson of the New Testament is you love the people who are the least among us, and you support the people who are facing the greatest struggles. And you do it, frankly, if I were what the New Testament told me I ought to be, I don't think I can be that person because I'm just not good enough, but I can do this. So it is with great pride that I will support this and look for other opportunities to advance it. Thank you.
I want to first add my thanks to those who came out tonight in support of human rights and specifically LGBTQ plus rights. This resolution is so timely. We live in a country that is founded on freedom and liberty, and yet for so long, there has been such great inconsistency in that concept, outright hypocrisy. We have, I believe deeply that the arc of mankind really bends in the positive direction, that we make incremental progress. And in respect of LGBTQ plus rights, we have made so much progress. Looking back, how far we've come since Stonewall, how far we've come since these other major milestones of acceptance toward our neighbors, our friends, our loved ones who are LGBTQ. But right now, we are in such a tragic time of sliding backwards, where hatred has been normalized, where attacks on liberties are being done in plain sight of us, and frankly, without enough people speaking up about how horrible that is. So in that regard, this resolution could not come at a better time. On a personal level, my wife and I are expecting our firstborn in 2 months. And, becoming a parent, it causes you to look through issues through a different lens. And, I certainly hope that I'm that parent who, in all respects, doesn't try to bend too hard, but to really to be supportive of whatever my child self-actualizes into being. But particularly in this issue, I certainly want my child to live in a world where, however they grow up to be, that they're going to be supported and loved and given the freedom that we all deserve. So, thank you.
I'm really proud and honored to pass this resolution with my colleagues, I think probably unanimously tonight. But I gotta say, I'm really depressed about it. I'm really disheartened that it's necessary. I mean, when I read through it, I thought, this is so simple. Why do we have to say this out loud? Why is this important? And we're living in this world where just the inhumanity and the cruelty on all issues, on the immigration issue, on this issue, it's just astounding to me. From the highest levels of government, but also all the way down, we hear it in this room, in our meetings, we hear this cruelty. Pitting neighbors against neighbors and classifying people. And I'm very disheartened that this is necessary. I recognize that it is necessary, but I'm depressed about it. And to me, there's nothing more simple. There's nothing more clear and simple that we all live in a community together. We are all equal. We all deserve dignity and respect, no matter what we are, no matter who we are. And furthermore, that this county in particular is especially extraordinary because of how diverse we are. What countries people come from, whoever people love. I mean, that's what makes us so interesting and special and what makes it so wonderful to live here. So the fact that we have to pass this resolution is perplexing to me, but I'm proud to do it. And whatever we need to do to make sure that we're countering these forces of inhumanity and cruelty to the extent we can, I'm there to do it. And I'm really proud of this board for being willing to step up and do it, despite whatever consequences we may suffer. So thanks for being here tonight.
Just want to say I concur with my colleagues as they have already spoken. Being a working for the National AFL-CIO and leading in the Civil Rights Department, back in the 80s, I have seen the discrimination, the hatred for LGBTQ plus communities and what they actually went through. And it was heartbreaking. Even back then, we used to we stood up for the LGBTQ community. It was, a lot of them was afraid to really say who they were, just because of the retaliation and what they would really receive and how they were being so disrespected. We've come a long ways from there, and we still have ways to go. So I am definitely support of this resolution. As you said, this is a start, this is a beginning. And we will continue to fight to make sure that you're protected, that you're treated equally, that you are not being discriminated against. Because if you're being discriminated against, so am I. And so we will continue to strengthen resolutions. We will try to make sure that we do everything we can to uphold and support the LGBTQ community as they stand, as they go forward. So thank you.
I want to just thank everyone who is here today and to support this effort. I am just so proud of our council and excited to support this resolution. You know, now more than ever, it's just important that we stand up and stand with our LGBTQ plus community. And I said it before, but all of us are better off when all of us are protected. And this is really just the beginning. So thank you all for being here. And with that, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Resolution passed. All right. Thank you, everyone. All right, moving on to our consent agenda. I will look to Councilmember Womack to make the motion.
I just want to let the public know the order of our items are on the consent agenda have been discussed in full detail on our pre-agenda meeting on Tuesday. And any council member has the right to have any item on the consent agenda removed, or they can elaborate or comment on any item if they choose to do so. So hearing none council member that wants to have one item removed, I'm going to ask to make the motion to approve the consent agenda items 8A through 8AB as described and written on tonight's agenda, subject to solicitor's approval.
Second.
Motion and a second. Are there any questions or comments about the consent agenda? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it.
Item 9A, I move for the approval to appoint Gary Andrews and Brian Wilbur Cole to the Delaware County Economic Development Corporation for a 3-year term ending June 1st, 2028.
Motion and a second. Any questions or comments?
Can I just note, I think one of those appointments is for a 5-year term and one is for a 3-year term.
Oh.
Because the term that I believe Mr. Cole is being appointed to is a full term with somebody who rolled off, was serving until his successor was appointed.
Yeah, let's amend that then. So I'll take it. So Mr. Cole is the 5-year term and Mr. Andrews is the 3-year term.
Correct. But yeah, I mean, he could be appointed at the end of that 3-year term, right?
Let's amend the agenda though to reflect that. I'll take.
I make a motion to amend the agenda to reflect that Mr. Cole is being appointed to a 5-year term ending December 31st, 2030. And Mr. Andrews is being appointed to a 3-year term ending December 28th.
clarify, I think that the terms end June 1.
Oh, June 1.
June 1. Yes.
But oh, that's right, because we're talking about a nonprofit. You're right. Okay. So I'm sorry. So it would be ending June 1, 2030 and June 1, 2028.
Motion and a second to amend the agenda. Are there any questions on, comments on the amendment? Hearing none, all those in favor of the amendment to the agenda first signify by saying aye. Aye. Any additional questions or comments on the item itself?
I just want to note that Sean McIntosh, who is a member of the board, is rolling off a little early, and I know his Hearts and Trails and some other things, and I'm sure we can find a way to put him to work. And I just wanted to thank him for his service.
Any additional questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it.
I'd like to make the motion for the request by the Controller's Office for payment of current bills.
Second.
Motion and a second.
Yeah, there's really nothing particular to note.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. And we have our communications from the Executive Director.
Yes, I was going to give some boring updates on things that were passed on this evening's agenda, but just wanted to mention that it was very heartening to see what happened here this evening. I am very proud and pleased of council and their actions, and just really thankful to be a part of this team. And it was the best meeting in the year and a half that I have been here, for sure.
Thank you, Ms. O'Malley. Looking for our solicitor's report, Mr. McGarry.
Yes, before you this evening is the approval to file 3 consents for adoption with the Orphans Court.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. Anything else, Mr. McGarry?
Nothing else. Thank you.
All right, with that, I will look to council for any council remarks.
I've said everything I have to say.
Okay. Anyone else?
I'm good for tonight.
All right, I had one clarification. There was a typo in my comment, and our flag raising is actually on Friday, June 6th at 11 a.m. So not tomorrow. So don't come tomorrow. Come Friday. All right, and with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. Everyone have a good evening.
Were you about to oppose it? Did you start to make